dahil sa mga nakikita ninyong ebidensya na mga presentation ni Attorney Kaufman, do you believe na may pag-asa na mapalaya si Pangulong Duterte o nakikita ninyo na ICC is a political body na talagang ang purpose lang makulong si PRRD?
Okay, on the first part of your question, I have said this again, and we have said this again in the Philippine team, the Philippine team of lawyers who came here. We are one in saying that if it is based on the merits, we're very confident that the charges will be denied. Yun po. On the second question, alam mo na anong sagot doon. Kasi kung if the trial will be isolated from any political pressure, we're very confident. Pero kung ibang bagay ang papasok sa kaso, ay ibang usapan na rin yan.
Attorney, what about the 18 ex-marine na nagsabi na tinutulungan nila yung ICC? Would this have an effect?
Good that you mentioned that. I will say something about that.
Okay po. May effect po ba ito sa... Ayun, Attorney, may effect po ba ito sa trial? Yung ginawa di umano daw na pag-asikaso ng ilang government official dito sa ICC?
I like to put that in context, and also I like to say something about some information I got here. May epekto yan sa kaso, to directly answer your question, and I hope may epekto kasi kailangan may pasok yan sa kaso. I'm sorry, the records of the case. Now, may epekto ba? Yes. You know why? 2 days after lumabas itong mga allegation regarding the ICC prosecutors being hosted by some groups of Filipinos when they went to the Philippines for several days and in several occasions, may isang ICC lawyer na nakausap ko, nagsabi na it was quite unusual for the ICC to come out with a statement refuting the allegation. Why is it so? Dahil normally the court don't react or express comment which are external to any of the cases they're handling. Kaya nagtaka siya kung bakit. And this is the same in the Philippines. Yung alam mo na, di ba? You're all there practicing your industry in expressing yourselves in social media, everything else on both sides. Binabatikos yung Korte Suprema or pabor sa Korte Suprema, pero may mabasa ba kayo na nagre-react yung Korte Suprema sa bagay-bagay na yan? Hindi. Dahil the Supreme Court of the Philippines express themselves through the decisions that they promulgate. So these are official records pertaining to cases that they hear before the court. So they express themselves in the decisions that are promulgated by the Philippine Supreme Court. Dito, quite unusual, nag-react ang ICC by way of a statement refuting what they said. Pero mahirap i-refute Kasi kung totoo yung affidavit, hindi lang po salita ng tao, pati yung mga pictures. At na-confirm na yung tao doon, a certain, even one of them, sino nga ba yan? Miss Chantal is confirmed to be an ICC investigator. So ito is a very compelling evidence which should be looked into, by the way, by the relevant agencies of government, whether it be the Ombudsman or the Senate Committee, to investigate this allegation. Ang problema lang dito, yung lumabas sila, ang inimbestiga yung 18, hindi yung sinasabi nila patungkol sa mapakamot ka sa ulo kung bakit sila yung iniipit.
Attorney, what do you think of this? Is this being defensive ang ICC or they're just trying to clarify na hindi sila involved?
Actually, there is not much that they said in details, no, dun sa statement na nabasa ko. Except to say, like for example, their funding when they do investigation anywhere else in the world are sourced from the budget of the ICC. Basically that, no? Pero yun nga, if you're doing that and then you react on something that is external to the court, why would you do that? I think you know more of that than I do because you're in that business. You're in that industry in communicating issues out in the open.
But attorney,
Mas makakaintindi kayo niyan kaysa ako.
can we say that it is illegal?
Hindi naman illegal. Which one are you referring to?
Yung pong sinabi po nung Marines, ex-Marines na tinulungan ni Trillanes di umano through the giving ng pera, would you consider that as illegal sa sa investigator ng ICC?
Ganito. Kung totoo yung sinasabi ng 18 Marines, no? Kung totoo yan, that adds up to the argument on the political dimension of this case. Kasi hindi sila objective at mangyari na heavily biased yung ginawang ICC investigation sa loob ng Pilipinas. At saka kung totoo yung mga I do not know if there was a specific statement about $2 million na that was requested and that was supposed to be used for expenses in the investigation, magiging illegal yan kung nakatanggap yung mga ICC investigator ng pera galing dito sa nag-host sa kanila sa Pilipinas. But at the least, it will show a clear bias on how you investigate the case. Kasi kung objective ka na investigador, you will look at all angles, no? Both sides or multiple sides for that matter. Kung totoo ba yung na yan, yung nangyayari na yan na kaso. Pero as it appears, yung nag-host sa kanila dito, sila din ang nag-guide sa mga ICC prosecutors kung saan pumunta, kung sinong taong i-interview nila, anong dokumento ang ibibigay. So, you know, that becomes suspect insofar as an objective investigation of the Philippine situation is concerned.
Attorney, si Coach Oli po ulit, no? So, it is
Yes.
as if inaamin ng ICC na political to kasi nag-react sila eh. Second question po, Attorney, advisable ba na i-open ni Attorney Kaufman etong mga ebidensya laban sa ICC na nilabas nitong 18K o yung tinatawag nating 16 Marines and 2 sundalo?
Insofar as your second question is concerned, iabot na po namin yung information na yan sa defense team. But on how they're going to handle it, unfortunately, there are a lot of things that we do not know because of the confidential nature of the proceedings. Kung maalala nyo, pati yung if you are following the hearing on a delayed telecast, mga ilang beses pinuputol-putol. And I asked Attorney Kaufman regarding that. And he mentioned that in the interview na sinasala ng ICC kung ano yung mga supposed to be hindi sasabihin dahil nga confidential. Pero narinig namin lahat nung nandun kami sa gallery. Pero hindi rin namin alam kung ano yung mga supposed to be hindi ma-broadcast sa inyo lahat because delayed kayo ng 30 minutes.
Attorney, yung naman, pagdating naman dito sa Supreme Court, hindi ko alam kung nasagot nyo na to kanina eh. Na-cite nyo kanina yung mga final nila Mayor Baste eh. Pero if ever, yung mga nakabinbin na kaso sa Supreme Court, nag-rule ang Supreme Court na illegal itong mga pag-aresto, pagpapadala kay Pangulong Duterte doon, makokompel po ba yung ICC na mag-adhere or mag-comply doon sa decision ng Supreme Court natin?
My lawyer's opinion is that legally speaking, as I've said earlier, the Philippine Supreme Court does not have jurisdiction over the ICC. They will not be able to compel the ICC to release. By the way, the habeas corpus petition were addressed to the uh, relevant government officials who were made respondents to the case. That said, if the petitions would be granted, it's now the burden of the Philippine government, Philippine government through these officials na ibalik si Mayor Rudy dito sa Pilipinas. Sa ibang jurisdiction, nangyari na nga daw yan. Patungkol dito sa Amerika na may isang tao na mistakenly deported to another country. I think that was Honduras. And a case was filed in the Supreme Court and the petition was granted. So the U.S. government made arrangement to bring the American citizen back to the States. So basically, yan yung arrangement na yan. And on the part of the ICC, if ever there is such a decision in favor of the former president in relation to the habeas corpus petition, that would be very, very persuasive argument that Attorney Kaufman can use for an early release of the president.
Attorney, meron ba kayong meron ba kayong listahan? Or nakita niyo po ba yung listahan ng mga redacted doon na mga pangalan? Kasi merong mga redacted na mga pangalan na hindi pwedeng mabanggit dahil baka daw ma-compromise yung security.
Wala
whatever.
kami. Kung ano yung what was made public are the same copies that we have.
Hindi po
Si
nagbigay.
Attorney Kaufman was very strict on the confidentiality rule of the court. Kung may tatanungin kami, if it falls under the confidential nature of such communication or piece of evidence, he would not disclose.
Pero meron po
So,
kayong idea?
hindi po-
May idea kayo sino-sino itong mga ito?
Lumalabas naman yung mga taong nire-refer ni Attorney Kaufman at ng prosecution. Makikita naman din natin yan before the case was brought to The Hague, no? Two people have been interviewed a number of times in the past, no? Si Las Cañas at saka si Matobato among them. So alam natin na they would be among those prosecution witnesses. Kung ano yung sinabi nila, at least insofar as the records is concerned, that I would not know kasi that's not disclosed. But some other incidents, as they call it, were not redacted. And I like to cite one, the one that happened in Osamis City against the Parawinog. Maganda yung argumento ng depensa. Sinasabi na hindi ito premeditated at saka labag sa batas. Kasi yung pagpasok ng pulis doon sa bahay ng mga Paruhinog was on the basis of a judicially issued search warrant. So valid yung pagpasok nila. Pangalawa, yung pagpasok nila, there was an encounter. Ibig sabihin, ang tawag nito, there was an armed encounter and for which the police has to respond as well in order to deter the risk, in order to deter the what do you call that, the violence that they were facing at that time. Pangatlo, hindi po madalian yon. Mangilang oras bago natapos. No? Pang-apat, at sinight ito ni Attorney Kaufman. Pang-apat, may mga namatay pero meron ding naaresto. 4. So kung totoo yung sinasabi nila as what they're portraying Mayor Rudy as a murderer at saka lahat ng mga ginawa niya is really premeditated na walang ligtas, patayin niyo lahat, bakit may buhay? No, yung mga ganong mga ebidensya na ilatag niya lahat yan. Hindi lang po namin ma-appreciate at kayo rin, hindi rin nyo ma-appreciate kasi napipigilan siyang magsalita because some of these are confidential or redacted versions of what is already in the records of the case.
Attorney, yung isang mainit na usapin dito kasi parang medyo hindi yata nagkakaintindihan patungkol doon sa salitang ano ba 'yon, yung neutralize at saka yung tokhang. Kasi sinabi din ng spokesperson Yusek ng PCO na dito daw sa Pilipinas ang ibig sabihin daw ng neutralize, and even si dating Supreme Court Justice Carpio sinabi din niya na kapag ginamit daw ng otoridad yung salitang neutralize, kill daw ang ibig sabihin nun. Ano pong masasabi niyo dyan?
Si Attorney Kaufman had made it very clear, no? Before the pre-trial chamber, that neutralize means maipigil yung ginagawa ng tao. So, arrest, apprehension, and detention, prosecution, no? The last resort would be to kill if there is risk to the lives of the arresting officer. So, yun po yung kinaklaro at pabalik-balik na sinasabi ni Attorney Kaufman. And it's all there. Policy-wise, klarong-klaro naman na hindi sinasabi na the word neutralize means to kill. It's basically inconsistent with the PNP operational manual, no? Na mapipigilan yung tao. You'll be able to restrain him without risk to the arresting officer.
Kasama din
So umiikot-ikot yung argumento patungkol sa neutralization or neutralize sa prosecution at sa depensa. But they cannot pin anything at all. I'm referring to the prosecution to say, I'm referring to the whatever is said or whatever is in the record to say that the word neutralize or neutralization means to kill.
Attorney, yung isa pa na nabanggit dito ni Attorney Kaufman, yung pangalan ni Pangulong Bongbong Marcos. Sa tingin ninyo makakatulong ba yun sa pag-convince niya sa mga huwes na i-dismiss na itong kaso ni Pangulong Duterte?
Ang nakita ko doon, in fact, I was surprised that he mentioned that. But I think just to put in perspective na lumalaganap pa rin at patuloy yung nangyayaring patayan sa Pilipinas even after Mayor Rudy stepped down from office as president. So, yun po yung perspective doon. So, parang ang sinasabi niya na why would you, because first of all, there is Attorney Kaufman has been denying, and that is the position of Mayor Rudy, denying all the charges, no, that he had killed all these individuals, or even upon his order, for that matter. Now, even assuming that, meron pa rin nangyaring patayan papunta doon sa nung wala na siya.
Attorney, nakausap niyo po ba or meron po ba kayong chance na makabisita kay Pangulong Duterte? Meron po ba kayong clearance?
We really have wanted to. All 6 of us, we really have wanted to. Pero stricto yung ICC. Dalawang kategorya lang ng tao ang pwede. Yung members ng defense team at saka yung member ng kanyang pamilya ang makakabisita.
Thank you, Attorney.
Hello, Attorney.
By the way, I made an attempt the first time I came here last year, April, na mag-apply to visit him. By the way, an application to visit a detainee has to go through it online. So I filled out siguro mga 6-page application form to visit. Para ka nag-apply ng passport. Tinatanong ka yung passport number mo, anong pangalan mo, address, at saka questions like, have you ever been charged or convicted of any crime, blah, blah, blah. So yun po mga tinatanong. Aside from sino ka, ano yung relation mo sa detainee, anong purpose mo na pupunta ka rito, yung mga ganun. And I went through that process before I left the Philippines. And then I came here, wala pa rin sagot. So I made a follow-up email only to be told na hindi pwede because the visit is only limited to these 2 types of people who can visit him.
Thank you, attorney. Si Sir
Matindi,
Jack po, meron
matindi.
yatang sasabihin sa inyo.
If I may emphasize this point,
Sige po.
matindi na pag andito pa siya, yung pagbibisita talagang very, very limited. Kaya, importante talaga, even at least in the interim, he would be released to a country who will host him para mas marami pang tao makakabisita sa kanya.
Sir Jack, meron kang masasabi kay Attorney Del?
Wala akong tanong. Lahat ng tanong ko sinagot nila eh.
Oh.
Nananong yun eh.
Tanong mo muna kung
Inupusan niyo
naiintindihan
ako
ka
ng
niya.
tanong, di ba?
Tanong mo kung naiintindihan
Ano?
ka niya. Klaro ba?
Klaro. Attorney, malinaw ba?
Yeah, malinaw po. I can hear you.
Ano mo ha? Attorney, wala akong tanong. Gusto ko lang magpasalamat sa pagmamahal at suporta mo kay Pangulo Duterte. Maraming salamat sa'yo. At sa inyo lahat.
Boss, ibabalik ko yung pasasalamat mo sa iyo at sa inyong lahat. Kasi let's continue the fight for the old man. Hindi aatras yan. Sa pagkakakilala natin sa kanya, hindi yan aatras hanggang sa dulo. Up to his last breath, he will fight his battle. And it is just but fitting for us to help him fight his battle.
Attorney, you have the floor. Kausapin niyo po ang mga kababayan nating Pilipino.
Salamat po, Bay. Nagpapasalamat na pala ako rito sa opportunity for having me in your show. But more importantly, salamat sa outpouring of prayers and support. Even before when he was in office, all the more now that he has left the government service, private citizen na lang po, at inaapi rito sa Hague. But you continue to support him, you continue to pray for him. At kami, nagpapasalamat po sa patuloy na suporta. I like to say this a little bit in context. In the last 4 days po, and in this week, grabe ang suporta ng mga Pilipino. Yung makikita mo sa social media, hindi po lang galing yan sa The Hague. Hindi lang po yan galing sa other parts of Netherlands, Amsterdam, Rotterdam. Hindi lang po yan galing sa iba't ibang parte ng Europe. Yung mga tao po, manggagaling sa iba't ibang parte ng mundo. I came across with somebody who came from Qatar. Mapapakamot ka sa ulo mo. Gagastos ang oras at pamasahe, pupunta lang dito. I even saw some kababayan from Davao. They're not based here, but they came from Davao. Somebody came from London. And there's one family who came all the way from Paris. At yung asawa na Ilongga, siya yung nag-drive for 8 hours just to bring the family here. And for 4 days, they stayed here. So, yung mga bagay-bagay na yan, nakakabusog puso. At reinforces our belief and our affirmation for our love for Mayor Rudy, for Tatay Digong. So, salamat po at tutukan nyo yung kaso so that you will be able to know, learn, and understand what is happening to our Tatay Digong. Maraming salamat po.